1950s cartoon programming, the 1960s cartoon programming was some of the heaviest. So the later generations, or the earlier generations, they've been programmed very, very heavy, and we have to remember that. So, just a brief little video. Drinking some tea out here before I go home and get some work done. I've got to run the dogs and do some shit. I've been fasting all day. I've been fasting since I woke up. And I'll go until 7 or 8 tonight, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe 6:30, because it is Sunday, and oftentimes on Sunday when my mom's home, she makes a big vegetarian/vegan meal, so I will imbibe in that. But I do like, even on cheat days, and I consider this a cheat day, Sunday, I like to, if I can, I like to honor my dietary vows that I made on the 1st of January and try to push my meal back until 8, even though that often means that I won't be able to eat with my family, etc., which is okay, because personally, I like eating alone. I like eating on the floor, on my carpet. I like sitting down, and I like praying over my food before I eat it. I like doing a lot of things to my food that most people would think are totally insane. So due to the fact that I do live with a family, oftentimes on the weekends, due to the fact that my family wants to relax after a long week of work, the TV will be on while we eat, and I just can't handle that shit anymore. I can't do that. I can't handle trying to chew while processing all this data from this fucking TV thing. It doesn't work. We're supposed to be focusing when we eat. Like you're walking on a tightrope. You're supposed to be focusing and masticating everything that you put in your goddamn mouth. But due to the fact that people are sitting in front of the TV is already stimulating the pleasure receptors in their brain. They feel like they're getting high. Due to the fact that the TV puts you into a state that resembles sleep, you're suggestible to the suggestions that is put through that box. You just sit there and you fucking eat and want to consume and consume and consume, because that's what you've been programmed to do. You've been taught to obey. And they taught you that in the public school system at a young age, when they taught you that you had to raise your hand to speak and get permission from an authority figure that chances are you didn't even respect. They taught you at a young age by putting you into a three-dimensional box to learn underneath artificial lighting. Meanwhile, you should have been outside under the sun, touching the trees and experiencing nature and eating nature. We learn from nature by consuming her. But they've taken us out of nature, put us in a box, filled that box. The schools around here are filled with electromagnetic pollution. There's wires putting off invisible bubbles of pollution, which diminishes cell cleansing, etc., and reproduction. This is just an insane world. In this box, they've taught you to stay within the lines on your white piece of paper as you wrote your spells, while staying within the margins. On the subconscious level, staying within the margins means that you're staying within your authoritarian system. You're writing words out on paper. These are spells. You don't understand that, though, because you've been conditioned to think that their education system is good for you. So you study all the time. You put all of your energy into getting A's and doing all this so that I'm on an honor roll. Oh my God. In my opinion, the smart children are the ones that reject school. I'm not saying that there aren't individuals out here that are very intelligent who've gone through college, etc., but if you look at the occult symbolism of working through the grade systems to graduate, it's programming. It represents wet concrete, which starts at preschool and kindergarten, and as you work through the grades, those grades represent the concrete getting harder until you reach college, where the concrete is set and you get your cap, which represents you've been programmed through all these grades of school, and now you've reached the last grade, and it's all that programming is now set into a block of concrete, which is what you are, because you don't know that you've been calcified. You don't know that on the internal level you're stiff and that you're internally rusting to death. You've been turned into stone, and you don't see it because you venerate all the college bullshit. If you were to compare colleges in the ancient Egypt systems, if you were to compare the colleges in ancient Atlantis, in the mystery schools of Atlantis, on Undal and all the different islands, etc., you would be ashamed to think that colleges of today are actually doing things that are good. You'd be embarrassed for yourself to realize that you spent all this time studying and remembering and regurgitating all this bullshit that the white man put out here after he polluted the entire earth to program you in these schools. You'd be embarrassed that you walked in the opposite direction of your ancestors, who were constantly around you, manipulating your experience to try to wake your monkey ass up so that you can live a righteous life and experience enlightenment here in this dying fucking country. This dying fucking planet. It makes me sick. But as I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's just another day in the land of the dead. So make the most out of it, people. You have to realize that on every angle you're being hit from a multitude of fronts. You don't understand this, though, because I'm going to wrap this one short. I could keep going, but it's Sunday. And again, I've got a lot to do. So, on behalf of this channel, peace be with you.